You are standing in your driveway. Look up. Those shingles have been up there for 12 years. You know what they looked like when they went on. You know what they look like now. Gray, curling at the edges. Granules washing into your gutters every time it rains. The roofing contractor who installed them told you they were rated for 30 years. He did not tell you that the warranty is written so that almost nothing qualifies for a claim. He did not tell you that the asphalt shingle industry has been quietly engineering shorter lifespans into its products since 1978. And he definitely did not tell you about the barn down the road. 3 miles away, there is a barn built in 1887. The original roof is still on it. Not repaired, not replaced. Original. 137 years of Pennsylvania winters, Pennsylvania summers, Pennsylvania ice storms. Still tight, still dry, still doing its job. No contractor, no warranty, no replacement cycle. Just $3 per square foot of material that every farmhouse and barn in America used before the asphalt shingle industry buried it in the 1950s. If you already own a house, stay with me, because what I'm about to show you works on any existing roof as a treatment, not a replacement. You do not need to tear anything off. You do not need a contractor. You need 1 weekend and $3 per square foot. I am going to show you exactly what that material is. I am going to show you the entry from a 1949 Agricultural Structures Manual published by the Penn State Extension Service that documented metal roof treatments in over 40,000 Pennsylvania farm buildings. And I am going to show you why the American roofing industry, which generates over $60 billion every year, has spent 70 years making sure you replace your roof every 15 years instead of treating it once and never thinking about it again. This is not a spray coating from a hardware store. This is not a rubberized sealant in a caulk gun. This is raw zinc sulfate solution, the same compound that has been protecting metal roofs since the 1840s, applied cold with a brush in a single afternoon. A pound of zinc sulfate costs $3 at any agricultural supply store. 1 pound treats 100 square feet of metal roofing. The first time I visited that barn near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, I asked the man who owned it, a farmer named Paul Hirschberger, when he had last treated the roof. He was 68 years old. He said his father had treated it in 1961. He said his grandfather had put the original galvanized standing seam roof on in 1887. 1 treatment, 1 roof, 137 years. I stood in that barn for a long time looking up at the underside of those original panels. Not a single rust spot, not a single leak. The zinc had done what zinc has always done, sacrificed itself slowly to protect the steel beneath, 1 molecule at a time, indefinitely. The American asphalt shingle industry quietly engineered the replacement cycle into its products starting around 1955. Before 1955, metal roofing, standing seam galvanized steel, turn plate, zinc-coated corrugated iron, was the standard on every farm structure in America. It lasted indefinitely with basic maintenance. After 1955, fiberglass matte asphalt shingles became the dominant residential roofing product. They are cheaper to manufacture, they are faster to install, and they fail on a predictable 15 to 20-year cycle that generates a new sale every generation. The roofing industry today generates over $60 billion annually. A roof that lasts 100 years and never needs replacing is not a product. It is the end of a product category. Here is what the chemistry actually looks like. Galvanized steel is steel coated with a thin layer of zinc. Zinc corrodes faster than steel in the presence of oxygen and moisture. That is not a flaw. That is the design. The zinc corrodes so the steel beneath does not have to. As long as zinc remains on the surface, the steel is protected. When the zinc layer thins, you replenish it. That is the entire maintenance protocol. Think of it like this. Your zinc roof is a bank account. The zinc is the balance. Every year of weather makes a small withdrawal. The zinc sulfate treatment makes a deposit. As long as you make deposits faster than withdrawals, the account never runs dry and the steel never rusts. I found the full documentation in the 1949 Penn State Extension Service manual. Page 14 describes what the manual calls the zinc replenishment method. Here is the exact process. Zinc sulfate monohydrate, available at any agricultural supply store or garden center as a soil amendment under the name zinc sulfate. $3 per pound. 1 pound per 100 square feet. Mix 1 pound of zinc sulfate in 1 gallon of warm water until fully dissolved. The solution will run clear. Apply to any clean, dry metal roof surface with a stiff bristle brush or a garden pump sprayer. Work from the ridge down in sections. Allow to dry completely, roughly 4 hours in direct sun. Apply a second coat the following morning. That is the entire treatment. The zinc sulfate solution penetrates microscopic pores and surface oxidation on the existing galvanized coating. The zinc ions deposit into those pores and bond chemically with the steel surface. The result is a renewed zinc layer that extends the protective life of the roof by 15 to 20 years per treatment. The 1949 manual documented treatments on barn roofs across 40,000 Pennsylvania farm structures. Average service life extension per treatment, 17 years. Paul Hirschberger's father treated that roof in 1961. 63 years later, it has not been treated again. It is still tight. The original 1887 galvanized coating was simply thick enough that one treatment in 1961 was still working in 2024. Now here's the part most people miss, and it extends the system beyond metal roofing entirely. The same zinc sulfate solution applied to any exposed wood surface, fence posts, barn siding, deck boards, wooden window frames, penetrates the wood grain and creates a zinc ion barrier that prevents the moisture absorption that causes rot. It is not a sealer. It does not sit on the surface. It bonds inside the wood fiber itself. A fence post treated with zinc sulfate solution before installation lasts 30 to 40 years in ground contact. An untreated pine post lasts 5 to 7 years. Paul Hirschberger showed me the original fence posts his grandfather drove in 1887, the same year as the roof. Still in the ground. Still solid. One treatment. 137 years. Why does the average American homeowner replace their roof every 15 years at a cost of between $8,000 and $20,000? Why did the Penn State Extension Service document a 17-year service life extension from a $3 treatment in 1949 and then quietly allow that manual to disappear from public access by 1965? Why does the American roofing industry spend over $2 billion in advertising every year showing you new roofs, never once mentioning that the roof you already have can be made to last indefinitely for $3 per square foot? You already know the answer. The zinc treatment did not fail. It was not replaced by something better. It was quietly buried at exactly the moment that a $60 billion replacement industry needed customers on a 15-year cycle who had forgotten they had a $3 alternative. Paul Hirschberger's grandfather put that roof on in 1887. Paul has never replaced it. His son will not replace it either. I do not know what brought you here today. Maybe you just got a quote for a new roof and the number made you sit down. Maybe your shingles are curling and you started looking for an answer that did not involve spending $20,000. Maybe someone in your family used to talk about metal roofs that lasted forever, and you never understood how until right now. Maybe you are building the kind of household that fixes things once instead of replacing them on a schedule someone else designed. It does not matter which one. $3 per square foot. Zinc sulfate from the garden center. One weekend. And the same zinc chemistry that has been protecting Paul Hirschberger's barn since 1887 without a single replacement. If you are the kind of person who believes that real knowledge has been quietly pushed aside to protect someone else's profit, you already know what to do next. You go to the agricultural supply store this weekend. You buy a bag of zinc sulfate, and you start recovering something that belonged to your family long before any roofing contractor had your address on a billing statement. Now I want to ask you something specific, and I want you to actually answer in the comments. How old is the roof on your house right now? And when did someone last tell you it needed replacing? Tell me the age, tell me the material, and tell me what the quote was. I read every single comment. Take it and use it. See you next time. Next video, I'm going to show you the underground water system that every homestead in America had before municipal pipes existed. It harvests, filters, and stores rainwater indefinitely with no pump, no filter cartridge, and no monthly bill. It costs $9 to build, and the EPA quietly made parts of it illegal to install in 11 states. See you then.